want to switch gears now to weather because if you remember, if you were with us yesterday, we talked about those tornado warnings. Now we're getting confirmation.
Yeah, Brandon, what have you learned about these one or two tornadoes?
There were two confirmed tornadoes. Just got this in from the National Weather Service right now, where we had very brief, weak spin-ups. You may have noticed we were on the air with a few tornado warnings yesterday, and it turned out just for a brief time we had a couple of touchdowns. The National Weather Service still in the process of pinning down the details with these, but they did give us a heads up that they can confirm two tornadoes. The first one is over here just west of 95, but north of Sheridan. So this is in the vicinity of TY Park. So we're getting close to Hollywood Hills. And then the other one is going to be near Griffin Road, south of Fort Lauderdale Airport, but east of I-95. And we have video from a mobile home park that's in that area just off of Griffin Road. And that's actually roofing material and panels that came off the roof of that mobile home. It really doesn't take much to get roofs off of those buildings that are not built as sturdy as some other homes. But you can see the damage inside is very significant. That one is just peeled completely back, almost like the top of a can that you're opening. And both of these tornadoes are EF0 tornadoes, which means they have winds between 65 and 85 miles per hour. And this damage right here is actually high-end EF0 tornadoes. So this one's going to be closer to that 80 to 85 sort of frame. That's the kind of winds we saw in that tornado yesterday. And let's get you over to the forecast because we have the potential to see a couple of more strong thunderstorms today. And on top of all of this rainfall, additional flooding, 25.91 inches of rain in Fort Lauderdale yesterday. That could take the record out of any Florida city in the entire state, the 24-hour rainfall record. The last one was 23 inches, a little more than that. That was set actually in Key West during Hurricane Jeanne way back in 1980. So this is a pretty significant event that happened yesterday. So you hear us say this is a 1 in 1,000 year flood. I want to show you what that actually means. That means on any given year, there's a 0.1% chance of a flood event like that with more than 25 inches of rain happening in Fort Lauderdale. So that's pretty significant. But I do want to mention, this is important too, that it doesn't mean it's going to be another 1,000 years before we see this type of event. You could even have another one later on this year. But it just shows you how rare yesterday actually was. And this is what happened yesterday. We had a strong southeast wind. It was coming in pretty good, hit the coastline and slowed down. We call it coastal convergence. It slows down and starts to turn. So you can imagine all that wind and all that moisture piling up along the coast has nowhere to go but up, and then you get those thunderstorms developing. So this is only a phenomenon that would happen right along the coastline. This isn't something that we would see inland, and that's why it happened right there along the coast. It just so happened to set up over a large metro area. Winds this morning, so far this afternoon, now that we're at 1:30, 14 miles per hour out of the south. So this is a little bit of a different setup, especially with the winds off the ground. I don't expect the same type of extreme flooding that we had yesterday, but we could get several inches of rain, and that's going to cause some additional flooding in some areas. Here's radar now. We got our first few showers popping up. We got a few back here close to Miami Lakes. We also got reports of rain already falling in Fort Lauderdale. I know that's scary because it is coming down heavy, but nothing on radar is concerning to me right now. But what I am watching is where these first few showers are setting up, because this is where I think we're going to see those repeated rounds of rain into this afternoon. And right now it does extend from Hill all the way into parts of downtown Fort Lauderdale, not right on top of our camera, but pretty close by. Here's what our models look like later on today. As we get towards 3 o'clock, we have storms developing right on top of us. And now this is important too. Watch our motion of these thunderstorms. This is at 3. I'll play it for a few hours here through 6, and they don't really move all that much. So we could see these storms kind of back build over the same areas. And it's impossible to predict the exact neighborhoods of where that's going to happen. But if I can focus in on an area, it will be Broward and northern Miami-Dade. In addition to the flooding, strong wind gusts, small hail, isolated tornado, kind of like what we had yesterday, where they're not particularly strong, but they can do some damage. And we'll watch out for storms that have rotation later on today. That threat does start now that we have some showers on radar, and will last through about 7 o'clock. And then once the sun sets, we lose the heating of the day. We'll start winding things down. 7-day forecast shows more rain on the way, but I did want to show you we are going to get more storms tomorrow afternoon, kind of like today. Saturday is the day where we have significantly lower rain chances. So if you're looking for that one day where we are going to be mostly dry, it looks like we're going to have to wait till Saturday for that. Guys?